Class 12 Score Types. Score types. Most of the music you have encountered so far has been written on the grant staff. This class, we will explore 3 additional types of scores used for specific instrumental and vocal ensembles. String quartet score. The string quarter has been a favorite form of chamber music since the classical era. Haydn, Mozart, Beethoven, and Schubert were important composers of the string quartet. The string quartet score is written for first violin in the treble clef, second violin in the treble clef, viola in the alto clef, and cello in the bass clef. String quartet score. So this is an example of a string quartet score, and it's here with this type of bracket, and you have to write all the part names. The dynamic markings and the crescendo and decrescendos go under each line, and they all have the violins have treble clef, viola has alto clef, and cello has bass clef, and there needs to be a key signature in all of them and a time signature in all of them. The bar lines are connected, so this is a string quartet score. Modern vocal score. In the rich tradition of choral music, composers including J.S. Bach, Handel, Haydn, Mozart, Beethoven, and Mendelssohn have all written works involving 4-part choir. The abbreviation SATB is used to refer to the 4 voices: soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. Modern vocal score is written for soprano in the treble clef, alto in the treble clef, tenor in the treble clef, written 1 octave higher than the actual sound, and bass in the bass clef. Also for tenors, sometimes a small number 8 is attached to the bottom of the treble clef to indicate the octave transposition. In a modern vocal score, the text for each voice is given directly beneath the notes. So this is an example of a modern vocal score. This 4-part texture is referred to as chorale style. So you still need the big bracket thing, just like the string quartet score, and you label all the voices or parts. Short score. String quartet score and modern vocal score are examples of open scores in which each instrumental or vocal part is written on its own staff. Short scores are used to condense open scores from 4 staves to 2. This is particularly useful to facilitate playing all 4 parts on the keyboard. In short score notation, treble and bass clefs are used with 2 voices on each staff. The stems go up for the higher parts and go down for the lower parts in each clef. The placement of the text depends on the texture of the music. This is an example of something in short score. So the stems are in different directions, so when it goes up, that's the top voice. When it goes down, that's the second voice, and in the bass clef, this one's the top and this is the bottom. So if it was a string quartet, then the top with stems, the stems going up in treble clef would be violin 1, the stems going down in treble clef would be violin 2, the stems going up in bass clef would be viola, and then the stems going down in bass clef is cello. Short to open scores. You may be asked to transcribe passages written in open score to short score or vice versa. When transcribing passages from short score to open score, ensure that each performer's line contains the necessary information. On each staff, write the key signature, the time signature, any dynamic indications, any additional music terms or signs, including fermatas. Fermatas are placed above each of the 4 parts in open score. Problems. 1. Name the key and the type of cadence. So this is written in short score. So first we look at the key signature. So the key signature is B flat and E flat, which means it's either B flat major or G minor. Then we look at the second one, which is either dominant or tonic. So over here there's a G, B, and D, so that's the G chord, which means this is G minor. And we look over here, there's an F sharp, which is the raised 7th degree, so it's definitely G minor. Then we'll look at so this is the tonic, which is I. And this one over here, it's D, F sharp, and A, and C. So that's the dominant 7th. And this is V7. So when it's the dominant 7th to tonic, that's an authentic cadence. So the cadence is authentic. Now the second one, it has 4 sharps, which means it's either E major or C sharp minor. So then we look at this. This chord has F or B, D, and F. So or B, D sharp, and F, and that's and there are no accidentals, so it's probably E major. Then we look at D, C, and B, D sharp, and F sharp. That's the dominant chord for E major, and this one is an E major chord, so it's E major. So then this is the tonic, and this is the dominant. Also, I made a mistake over here. It should be a lowercase I because it's minor. Yeah, so back to this one. It's the dominant chord. So 1 to 5 is a half cadence. We transcribe each given cadence to modern vocal score. So modern vocal score, we first write that bracket. So first there's that line, and then the bracket. Then we label the voices, which is soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. Then so sopranos, a treble clef, altos, also a treble clef, tenors also a treble clef but 1 octave higher, and bass is a bass clef. Then we have to write the key signature. And then the time signature. So then everything above this line is, so this one is soprano, and this one is alto, and then there's tenor and bass. So first let's write soprano. So in soprano there's first a rest, and then there is a C and a half note. Y, K, O, L. And then in the next bar there is a B. Then in alto there's an F, there's a rest. And then an F sharp, and then a D. And in tenor, this one's an A, but you have to write it 1 octave higher. Well, first there's a rest, then it's an A 1 octave higher, and then there is another rest in the bass clef, and it's a D. So in the second bar of tenor, it's a G, but it's 1 octave higher, so this G, and in bass it's the low G. So this is how you write it in modern vocal score. We're just gonna do the first example. The second example, you can pause the video, try it yourself on paper or something. To transcribe the string quartet score to open score. So just do this, then connect it with the bracket. Then we write the clefs. So there's treble clef for the violins, and alto clef for the viola, and then bass clef for the cello. So again, we write the key signatures first. Okay, and then we write the time signature, which is cut time. Then we write the notes. So the top line is the violin one. Okay, first you have to draw the bar lines. So the double bar line at the end. Then the normal bar lines. Okay, so for the violin, first there's a C, then there's an F, and then a D, then a E natural, then F and a rest. Then there's for the violin 2 an A, then it's a C. So it's the bottom line of here, which are these. So basically we just rewrite it, but differently. But then over here there's a B, and another B, and a C and B, and then an A with a rest. So then do the same for viola, but it's in alto clef. So there's A flat, and B flat. So in alto clef it would be A flats here, then another one, then B, and then C, and then that's an F. So then it's a low C, so then G, then it ends on F. Oops. With the rest. And do the same thing for the bass, the cello. It's a half note. This. Whoops, I'm looking at the, make sure you don't look at the top part, you look at the bottom part, so. And then F with the rest. Also, you need to label the part name, so. Violin 1, violin 2, viola, and cello,